So this is what I do every day before the gym. I stick my gallon of water in my gym bag. I got all 9 aminos, dimetize, creatine, glutamine, and pre-workout. And then this is, again, all 9s, glutamine. And that's it today. So I have this, like, halfway through my workout, I start sipping on it.
What are your favorite flavors?
All 9 is actually really, really good. So I used to do Amino Pro. I still do Amino Pro. I still have it. But all 9 kind of replaced that for me. I'm trying to see if I have any Amino Pro to show you the difference. My favorite flavor with all 9, I don't even know. What we have today is Fruit Fusion. This stuff is really, really good. They all taste really good. Watermelon. There's a... Hold on a second. This one's really cool. It's a cola twist. So it tastes like Coke and lime. And you can make, like, I do that Italian ice. You know that Italian... Remember that Italian ice I made?
Yes, sir.
I do it with that. Do you have a mic? Are we going to mic up, or you want to do that in the gym?
No, we'll do that in the gym. You got this one. Got the little shotgun.
So yeah, I mix all that stuff up. I always like to have something like towards the middle, back end of my workout. Especially if the workout's long or if I'm doing cardio afterwards or something. And you know I like to be warm, so
always.
Like a retard, I have 2 hoodies on. Is the first one on my head?
I don't know which one it is.
There we go.
There you go.
All right, so I did that skit the other day with Farzi Loco.
Yeah.
The Arab skit. I thought it was a little silly, but people loved it. It was just us being clowns, right? And then now everyone's asking for more Jamshid clips because that generated that whole comedy interest or whatever. So last night I had to watch Bird Box because I've been seeing the memes all over social media, all over Instagram, and the shit is driving me crazy because I don't know what it's about. You need to grab your phone?
Yeah.
I got a phone. So I'm like, I gotta watch this movie because I keep seeing these people blindfolded doing dumb shit and I had no clue what it was. Do you need anything else?
No, I'm good. Ready to rock?
Let's go.
Backpack on? So did you like it?
No. It was stupid. And I started to think, how the hell do they get funding for these movies? I didn't think it was good at all.
Probably fund our own movie.
Just close the door.
Alright, let's get in.
You gotta put your seatbelt on or this shit's gonna beep for...
Oh god, this is gonna be hard.
What I hate is when you're all warm.
Tell me.
It's freezing out. You're all bundled up like I am, like a fucking sardine. And then a piece of your shirt or jacket lifts up, and a cold-ass breeze goes up your back or your ass crack or something. It's the worst. All right, so the reason we're driving this Mazda, which I'm not a fan of at all.
Oh, you mean you don't like this?
No.
As compared to your BMWs?
Dude, you know, listen, I'm not biased, man, but this car handles and drives like crap. I didn't even check, but I'm assuming it's a naturally aspirated 4-cylinder because that's what it feels like. It's not a turbo, and there's no way this is anything bigger than a 4. And it's bad on gas. How does that make sense? You have no power, tiny little motor, and it's bad on gas. It's gutless, it's terrible. So anyways, my BMW story, you ready? I'm smiling, but it's quite depressing. So my F10 M5 twin turbo V8, carbon ceramic brakes, 600 horsepower competition package, took in water. This is a long time ago though. I had posted this on Instagram. It took in water. We had a really, really bad rain. It was sometime after the Olympia. And I just went over a really, really huge puddle, didn't know how big it was, and it kind of came over the hood. So if you're on the throttle and it goes over the hood, that means you sucked it in through your intakes, and water went into the motor. So it damaged the motor, and insurance totaled the car out because to replace the motor on that car is like $45,000. So they totaled it out, they paid me for the car, so the M5 is gone. So for the past few months, I really couldn't decide what to get. I still don't know what I want, really. And I was busy and I was traveling, so I just was driving the M3, the 2004 E46, inline 6-cylinder, 333 horsepower, 100 horsepower per liter. At the time when they made that car, there was no other car out there that had that. You know that? 100 horsepower per liter. It's 3.2 liters. It has over 100 horsepower per liter. 333 horsepower. Anyways, so that's, you know, I love that car to death, but I don't want to drive that car daily just because it gets beat up. And, you know, it's an older car. It's not like a comfortable daily car. It's kind of loud. I don't have Bluetooth, you know. It's stick. I love it, but I like to drive it when I would like to drive it. So I'm driving on the way to the gym, and you know, like where Jericho, the service store of the LIE in Jericho, where you pass Raleigh, and it's a little confusing for like retarded drivers, I guess. It's 3 lanes go left to Jericho, 2 go to the LIE. There's this guy in a Tesla SUV. They're pretty fast, by the way. And he's driving like a maniac, and he's on the left lane. He's nowhere near going to the right, to the LIE. It's 4, to the highway. It's 4 lanes over. So I see he's like trying to muscle his way over, and he like, I guess expected me to let him go or slow down. I was ahead of him. And he ends up sideswiping me. He ends up hitting the side and back of my car. He wasn't the best driver, I guess. So I hit the side of my car, and then he brakes really hard and goes like to my side, and I like look over. He's on my right now. I'm like, what are you doing? You know, like, you just hit me. We got to pull over. He leaves. He goes onto the service store of the LIE and bounces. And
now this is your second time somebody hit and ran.
In the same spot.
Okay.
In the same spot. No, the first time the guy didn't run. He pulled over. And, you know, it's if you're driving along on the road and someone just comes and rams you onto the side, it's really no fault because you can't prove what happened unless someone hits you from the rear. At least that's how it is here in New York. So the first time, it also wasn't my fault. The guy was retarded. That section, people get confused. And we got a police report and everything, and the insurance didn't pay for my car because they said we can't justify whose fault it is. So this guy leaves. Now I'm going the other way. So I like stop my car. I'm like, what the hell? This guy actually just left. I put my car in reverse. I have cars like doing 40, 50 miles per hour behind me flying my way. I put my car in reverse, back up, get on the service road, and I jump on the highway, and I'm flying now, and I'm looking, and I got pretty good eyes too, luckily. And I see his big-ass white Tesla SUV getting off the highway. So I follow him, and I followed him into a bank, and then I called the police. I didn't even want to go up to him and confront him because it always gets kind of ugly if I do that, you know? So I called the cops and just waited, and I think he saw me get out of the car and look at his car and look at my car because he didn't come out of the bank. People were coming into the bank. It was like 5-6 minutes on average. He was in there for 45 minutes till the cops came.
Opening up a new account.
And then he just played stupid. Yeah, that's what the cop said. I was like, why is he in the bank for 45 minutes if he doesn't know we were in an accident? He doesn't know I'm out here. He's like, oh, he was actually opening an account. I said, bullshit, you know? So he played dumb, and he was like, I showed the cop, and the cop believed me. He played dumb. He's like, I don't know what this guy's talking about. And the accident was like 2.5 miles away from the bank. So his insurance company, he had Geico. He called me up, and they're like, we're taking complete blame. He didn't even reply to them. So I'm talking to the insurance, the girl that's in charge of this, and she's like, he's not even really replying to me. So anyways, they're paying for it, but that's the story. The car's at the body shop right now. That's why we have this fabulous Mazda.
You know you don't miss the BMW. You know you like this thing.
You know what it is? I like that I don't have it right now, that I'm not driving it, because I'm just driving it every single day. I don't like driving that car every day. You know, it's an 04. It's like kind of a collector for me. I don't want to put too many miles on it and beat it up. And it's cold out, you know. So it's nice to, but no, I don't like this car. This car sucks. This car really blows. But I don't know what to get, man. I was looking on Swap Lease. You know what Swap Lease is, right?
Yeah.
People want to get out of leases, so you can lease a car for 6 months, 8 months, 12 months, 20 months instead of 3 years. So I've been looking at the F80 M3, but I don't think I'm gonna fit comfortably in that car.
I'm shocked you fit comfortably in any car.
What did you want to say?
I'm trying to say that you wide, baby.
My M3, believe it or not, it's a small car, but I fit very comfortably in it. The new M3, the seat's a little like, it's really snug. So like my lats, usually on those type of cars, it sits on. It doesn't sit in the bucket. It's like overlaps, you know? But I'd love to beat the crap out of one of those F80 M3s for a few months and just give it back, you know? I like the 5 Series too, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm just gonna go with the flow. Does that make sense in this scenario?
Yeah.
So someone was asking me yesterday what my plans are for the year. I'm not doing any shows. I'm just gonna do the Olympia. So I have all of February, all of March, April, May, June, July, August. So 7 months. And 3.5, we could say 4 months of that will be prep. So I got about 3 months, 3 more months for an off season. And then I'm gonna diet for 4 months. And obviously 4 months out, if, I'm not getting fat, I'll just, start the diet, maybe a little bit of cardio, but it won't be a strenuous, crazy crash diet. It'll be as slow as possible to get lean over 4 months and hold as much muscle as possible. But that's my plan for this year. So that's a nice change because I've been doing shows after show. Actually, no. 17, I just did the Olympia. 18, I did the Arnold in the Olympia. But I feel like I need a little bit of rest.
Yeah.
I feel like this Olympia prep just
does the body good, man.
Yeah. I was kind of shot this Olympia prep, and I feel like I wasn't getting much leaner closer to the show, and I was just, metabolism was shot. But that has a lot to do with how you diet, You gonna train today?
Yeah, I might train. You want to train with me?
I had someone once that was filming and was like, "Oh, can I work out with you?" I'm like, "How are you gonna do that, man? You're filming me. How are you gonna work out?" And
curl the camera in one hand.
Yeah, I'll record you, and then I'll put the camera down and do a set. I was like, it's not gonna work.
Yeah, I'll probably train later today.
What are you gonna train?
I think I might hit some back today. I hit some legs last night.
I did legs yesterday. I won't do legs and back to back because there's just such big muscles, and I'm trying to grow them each. So I feel like weak body parts that you're trying to bring up, not that my legs or back are weak, but I'm trying to improve them. I feel like you should be doing rest days after those days if possible. So I'll train legs twice in 10 days, right? So it's almost twice a week, but not really. On one of them, I'll take off. So today's the one where I don't take off. And yesterday I kind of did. I go by how I feel. I don't necessarily do one heavy day, one light day. If I feel strong and recovered, I'll go heavy both days. But yesterday I did more of like a higher rep workout.
And real quick though, I apologize for the camera guys because this is like driving on the surface of Mars.
It's a Mazda, son. I'm like falling asleep. I need to drink that pre-workout.
Gotta wake the hell up, man.
Yeah.
Gotta come in here and destroy some shit.
One thing, I don't know if people know this about Bev's, but Bev's parking lot is really nice. And I'm talking about the cars.
Yeah.
We have some serious cars here. We have a Lambo here every day, a McLaren. There's a Maserati to my left and a Porsche Panamera to my right, an STI behind me.
A little bit of everything, man.
Some crazy cars here, yeah.
Let's rock. The slab.
Mazda security system. I seriously hate that car. It tells me.
Stop lying.
There's a guy that trains here that always puts snacks in these cubbies.
Snacks?
Yeah.
What kind of snacks? I've never seen these snacks.
It's not here now, but chocolate, a banana, like just various shit. And one day I'm gonna eat them. And it won't be like it's in there wrapped up in clothes. It'll be like the chocolate will be open and he'll be like coming back and forth and taking bites from it.
You gotta start mind fucking him. You gotta start taking a bite out of it and leaving it there. He's like, did I eat this?
That's nasty. I feel like a weird superhero taking off layers and there's still more layers underneath. Doing chest and shoulders. Why am I doing chest and shoulders? I want to focus more on my back and my legs, so I don't do crazy chest and shoulder workouts anymore, or at least not now. So I put them together. And why the hell I'm here? I believe when you're trying to improve a body part, it's good to do it numerous times, but you can't annihilate your back or your legs 2-3 times a week. I think you can train, like a gymnast can train the muscle all the time if they're not annihilating it. So I'll train back hard and heavy once a week, but I'll do assisted pull-ups just in the beginning of every workout. And I feel like that's gonna help build anybody's back. I do it at the beginning of every body part except for legs. That's it. That's my pull-up. Didn't think I was serious about that initial. So the reason I do that is because you want to start the movement with retracting the shoulders back. Even on a row, you know, you don't want to do this. You want to do this one and then pull. So the first few reps, I kind of just got my scap and my shoulders used to retracting, and then I did the pull-up. And I can do pull-ups non-assisted. But the reason I do that unassisted is because it takes a lot of focus away from the arms. You're not muscling up. You're really just doing a pull-up. And if you notice, I'm leading with my chest. My elbows are tucked nice, and I'm using my lats to pull. There's a lot less tension here and even in my delts. Whereas when I try to pull up about 245 pounds of my body weight without any assistance, the focus goes elsewhere. That being said, I keep on going lighter, and I usually end up with 20 or 10 pounds, which is really nothing. A lot of times my body will leave the pad. But I like this as a warm-up. How many was that? Are you counting? Probably doing some weird ass fucking numbers like 7 or 13 reps. I need new clothes, man. I'm telling you before, when I'm higher in body fat and I'm growing, like I don't notice it. You know, like I don't look big to me when I'm soft and higher in body fat because you don't see all the definition lines. But I see the number on the scale. You know, I'm 244 today.
And this time last year, you were prepping for the Arnold.
This time last year, I was lean. Yeah. I was ripped up this time last year, getting ready for the Arnold. But my point is, like, I'm clearly bigger and fuller and growing, but I don't see it as much because, you know, I'm not as lean. But then I come and put on my clothes. Like, look at this sweater. This looks a little small.
What size is that?
Probably a XXL. I wear everything on top XXL. Some things triple, but not really, mainly double. But I've had this and I've been washing this for over a year. It's not like it shrunk, so it's a sign, you know? Yesterday I put on a t-shirt that's always kind of semi-loose fitting and the shit was tight. I don't like stuff too tight. You feel silly, you know what I mean? Like that new style of sweats, you know, it kind of gets tight as it goes down that everyone wears. I like that, but if it's too much, I feel a little bit,
I got you.
Feminine. I just feel silly, I don't know. I have a lot of Adidas shit. I'm an Adidas whore, you know that.
Custom tracksuits.
Yeah, those are my favorite. I love old school Adidas stuff, but if it's too tight, it just doesn't feel right. And then I can't work out. Constantly like pulling wedgies out of my ass instead of focusing on my workout. So I'll do one more set here. And then I haven't done chest and shoulders in a while. You know, Mike Camp, he's over there, my physical therapist. He's training Vlad and Sadiq and Saeed. But he had me do chest and shoulders because I had a shoulder issue. So I thought that was a stupid idea, but it made sense because I'm putting less pressure. You know, I'm not beating that area up twice a week. But I'll do it today, see if it feels good. I'll continue to do it. Even, you know, I've been doing like some side laterals and warming up the delts before chest anyways. I only do like 3 exercises normally for chest, and I never really do much more than 3 or 4 for shoulders. Looking good, man.
Thank you. Ready, guys? On stage, like 20 pounds lighter than this.
Oh, nice. Pretty shredded. Can you see that?
Like a lot more fluffy.
That's all right. You gotta grow.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I want to like take the year to grow or get on stage again this summer. So to see how I look like in a couple months.
Yeah. Just make sure you're eating enough to grow and get stronger, but not so much where you get fat. And play with your carbs and your calories. It doesn't have to be the same every day.
I watched your IG stories, your IGTV where you talked about, because like I made that mistake after the show where like I was like, oh, diet's almost
That was
over.
with him. That was with Nick.
Yeah. I was like, oh.
You see, people listen.
I was like, diet's about to end, and then like I was so excited and like I like went overboard.
I did that every show, man. Even after I turned pro. So it takes a while, it takes some discipline, but once you just
you gotta ease back.
Yeah, it gets easy. Just don't get that mentality of my diet's over. I can eat whatever the hell I want. You know. This is my favorite part of working out. Putting the weights on and off.
That's a blatant lie.
Does anybody out there want to come and help us rack weights? So this is a awesome machine. One of my favorite things about this is this. It lets you play with the angle of the wrist. All right, warm up number 2, and then we'll add a little bit of weight. So you saw that little tuck I did? Anybody wants to know how to get a bigger chest? I don't give a shit what exercise you guys do. It doesn't fucking matter. It's how you do it. So roll the shoulders back, tuck them back on that first rep. Get those shoulders back, and you're gonna use more of your chest, less of your delts. That's it. People are always asking guys with big arms, what do you do for arms? They ask Arnold, what does he do for chest? What am I doing?
What are you doing, man?
How many exercises are there for chest? Different variations of flat, incline, decline.
Flies.
Dumbbell flies, cable flies, dips. Really, what else is there, man? That's the fundamentals. What do I do for chest? I do the same thing everyone else does. We all do the same shit. And we rotate, right? So pretty much every bodybuilder is doing the same exercises. One might be doing this few for this few months and so on and so forth. It's how you do it. It's not like I'm gonna tell you this secret routine, like do incline dumbbells first. And then, no, it doesn't make a difference. It's how you do it. Most of you guys are just muscling up weight and using your delts. We can't not use delts and tris and even your back when you're pressing. You're gonna incorporate other muscles. That's the way the human body works. But how much of them, how much of your delts are overpowering is important when doing chest. Most people have a stronger front delt than their upper chest, or it's just situated forward. So watch again. So I usually preach about intensity, and we're joking, we're talking, you know, and I'm not trying to do record-breaking workouts today, but I always have headphones on, a hood on, and I just kind of like get into this zombie meditative state and train. And I really think you can't really train at 90+% if you're not like that.
I have a opposing song for you.
A what? Opposing song? I got to make an ill routine this year, and I got to work on it months in advance, you know? Some of my routines, guys, I've literally put together. Maybe I put them together a few months before, but like sometimes like the last week of the Olympia, being in Vegas, you're like really busy, a lot going on, trying to make weight, running around, and you don't practice. And once I get on stage, I kind of wing it. So there's been 1 or 2 shows where I've gotten compliments on my routine, which I think they could be a lot better. But it was just kind of like me just doing whatever. All right, ready to go home. I'm going to acupuncturist tonight. I should tell him to hit the shoulder.
You like acupuncture?
You know, I've only done it once with him last week, and it was awesome. He did my TFL.
Do you feel it?
Yeah. He puts them in, and then he has electrodes, like stim, that connects to it. So it's shocking the muscle. You feel it. It hurts, yeah. But just putting in needles, I've never done that. I did dry needling once. I didn't notice anything from it. But this really worked. It helped a lot. Between that and what camp is doing, they're both electrodes. They're both sending a signal to muscles that aren't firing and kind of getting the patterning down. Like what I noticed with my TFL, one of the reasons that's been bothering me for like a year and a half now is because my glutes weren't firing. But it took a long time to figure that out. We'll do one more here and then move on to some side laterals. That was fairly light. I'm just staying in that range where the shoulder doesn't hurt. I think if I went a little lower, my shoulder, it would bother my shoulder. So this one kid I used to train with years ago, he was spotting someone. And you know when guys spot someone on like chest, they'll do it like this. He was doing that, and the guy's arm gave out, and the dumbbell fell on his feet. It split his big toe. It just blasted his big toe open, and he had to get a rod put through his toe. It's fucking disgusting. Normally I would do a cable or a dumbbell fly right after those two presses and call it a day, or do one more exercise, but I'm giving it a rest because of the shoulder. So maybe after I do some shoulders, I'll go back and do a fly or a cable fly. But again, my main focus right now is not really on my chest and shoulders. Those are two areas where I can get away with not improving drastically. If anything, it's good to give them a rest and not even train them. If you're trying to build a muscle, and the day after you train that muscle, you're training another muscle, and then the day after that, you're training another muscle, a lot of your rest and food and nutrients are gonna go to all the muscles. But if you're just training one muscle, if every week all you train is legs twice a week, and you rest and do nothing else, well, all your rest, all your food is gonna go to that muscle. So think about it. So after the Arnold last year, I didn't train, I trained back and I trained legs. I broke up back to 2 days and I broke up legs to 2 days. And then one day a week, I did like one exercise for shoulders, one for chest, one for buys, one for tries. So I just gave my upper body, minus my back, some rest, gave my shoulders, my elbows some rest. You know, I don't recommend that for someone that's in their first few years of training, but for someone that's, you know, got some time in like I do, and maybe has a few bumps or bruises, little tendonitis in the elbows, little shoulder pain like I do, then I definitely do recommend that. Not only are you gonna grow those other muscles, in my case it would be back and legs, but you're gonna give the others a rest. So I'm not necessarily resting my upper body right now, but I'm thinking about it. So that's why I'm throwing chest and shoulders together. So my week is shorter, I can focus on back and legs more, and I'm not doing such high, rigorous volume for shoulders or chest. I don't like those new benches that are on the Smith machine.
They're too long.
What's up, guys? How are you? Good, good. Everything good? Definitely takes a lot out of you doing the chest first. But I think that's another good thing where it won't allow me to go as heavy for shoulders, whereas I could do 120s. I've done 140s. I think you filmed me doing 140s, but those are 80s, and I'm fatigued from doing the presses, so it's a good thing, because if not, I would go heavier. So maybe we do hundreds and just stop there.
Yeah, do whatever you feel comfortable.
I don't want to be blasting too heavy on the shoulders these days. You hungry?
I'm always hungry.
Back up, son.
Oh wait, I'll go real wide. Son, you're all wide, man.
Up in my bird nose. I'll feed you NutriChef.
Oh yeah?
Rice and beef. Yeah, I get it delivered Wednesday and Sunday. But I've been eating 6 meals.
I'm back on, man. I started counting my macros again.
Yeah?
I'm at 225 carb.
That sounds so gay. Counting my macros again.
I'm having Pop-Tarts every other meal.
I like Pop-Tarts, but you need like 15 of them to like satisfy you. This is serious.
How serious?
Pretty serious. Some dumbbell upright rows. I kind of like these better than, I think upright rows restrict you. And they do internal rotation. So you can have impingement in your shoulder when you go heavy. I started playing with these a few years ago and they feel good. They feel like a natural movement, just as long as you don't sway too much and try to keep the elbow considerably higher than the wrist. So I do like 3 or 4 variations of these. I'll do completely bent over, where it's just like a fly, dumbbell fly. I'll come forward, where it's like a fly with an angle. And then the ones that I just did are one of my favorites. It's more like the most muscular. It's a movement you can't really duplicate anywhere else. And in my eyes, it gives me a lot of contraction underneath the chest and gives you nice shape there. I've been doing those since I was a kid. It's literally like just like doing the most muscular.
What variation is the one where you just flip me off?
That's the Kung Fu Arash bar variation. Watch that lens. This is one of those exercises where it's good to look in the mirror make sure both arms are even. That's the range right there for me. Anything more is gonna take the focus off my pecs, transfer it to my shoulders. So right here, I have constant tension in the chest. I get a good squeeze, control up, squeeze, control up. If I go higher than this, I can use even more momentum, use more weight, get a rhythm, but it's not gonna put more tension on my chest, and it also will put my shoulder in a bad position. You know, I used to train my forearms. When I was younger, I used to train my forearms twice a week, and I haven't in years. And I feel like when you're using a lot of grips and wraps, it takes away from that. So I feel like my forearms, I'd like to see them get bigger. Maybe I'll start training them again. I gotta do acupuncture in the shoulder, man. Like right now, after training, that wasn't even like a hard workout at all. But I feel it, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That sucks. It's part of the sport. Gotta be more patient and smarter as time goes by, you know? When I was younger, it was just like, didn't really pay much attention to anything, rehabbing, warming up, just fucking blasted away week after week, day after day with no issues. Definitely not the case anymore.
Things have changed.
Things do change, yeah, man. So what were some questions that we got last time? I get questions all the time. So like on the YouTube videos, I get questions, on Instagram, and even in my DMs. So I try to put together like the most popular questions are the ones that aren't ridiculous, because all due respect, some of you guys' questions are pretty ridiculous. And by ridiculous, I mean like they're so vague. Like someone will ask me, how many grams of carbs should I be eating? And it's like, no one can answer that question for you. I don't know what you weigh. I don't know how active you are. I don't know how much muscle you carry, or your genetics, or your day job, you know? So it's an impossible question to answer. And then some other people, I feel like, you know, they've proven that humans have shorter attention spans now, right? Because of social media and the phones and everything. So I feel like that equates to people, especially younger guys, less likely to research and take the time when they have a question to learn something. Like almost every question that I get asked, the answer is on the internet. It's on Google. Either I've answered it in another video or interview, or you could just like find it. What do you think one of the most popular but useful questions we get are?
Diet, or what training split should I be hitting?
I think everybody should train as hard and heavy as they can while being safe and warming up. Each muscle once every 5 to 7 days. Eating as much as you possibly can without getting fat. If you're not gaining weight, keep eating more. If you're not getting fat, keep eating more. If you're getting stronger and you're at a calorie surplus, if you're eating a lot of calories, you're gonna grow. If you're training adequately and you're eating and sleeping, you're going to grow. There's no other way around it. My advice is put in the work. Like everyone wants to wear stringers and like be taking pictures ripped up because of social media. Everyone wants to be doing that right away. Like I have young guys every day coming up to me, I'm not sure if I should do a show or give another few years. And honestly, I don't want to tell someone to not do a show if that's where their passion is, but give another few years is really the right answer for almost everybody that asks that question. Back in the day, we just trained, we loved training, we wore hoodies and sweaters, and unless you went to the beach, no one was seeing your body. But now everyone's posting on social media, so everybody wants to be ripped. And they're comparing themselves to the top guys in the world, to fitness models, fitness celebrities, or professional bodybuilders. So they're like, oh, I got to get leaner. Well, if you're going to try to get lean and you're young and it's your first few years of lifting and you're going to be lean and have a six-pack all the time, you're not going to get much bigger or grow. So my post-workout is technically meal 2, because I eat one meal. I had 8 ounces of sweet potato, 6 ounces of bronzino, 2 whole eggs for breakfast, and then I trained. Now, post-workout is 1 cup of rice which is about like 5.5 ounces, give or take, and then 8 ounces of whitefish. That's it. And then I do 6 meals. Every single meal is 50 grams of carbs, and then the last meal is no carb. And every meal is about 8 ounces. So it's like I go from bronzino, I have 1 steak meal, I have 4 whole eggs throughout the day. So after this meal, this is bronzino and rice. The next meal will be 8 ounces of flat iron grass-fed steak and 8 ounces of sweet potato. Then the meal after that is whitefish and rice again. And then my last meal is chicken and 2 whole eggs, no carbs.
You seem to like the bronzino.
I love it, man.
Do you?
It's not fishy at all. The skin tastes amazing. I mean, this is also wild caught, which is a huge plus from NutriChef. But when we're talking about whitefish, what do we have to choose from? Like cod is extremely lean, right? So it's a great whitefish to have, but it tastes terrible. I hate it. Tilapia
pick the
is
worms
tilapia.
out of it too.
You know, people say tilapia is a terrible fish because it's a bottom feeder. True, but a bottom feeder in the natural habitat in the sea, most people are eating farm raised, so it doesn't make a difference. But I love it. I love the bronzino. I usually do like, I'm out of this, it's finished, but I have low sugar, no sugar added ketchup. So ketchup is like 5 grams of carbs per tablespoon. No sugar added is only 1. So that's a huge, huge difference. So for people that like ketchup, I recommend this. Or I'll do, this is a ketchup container, but I put mustard in here and hot sauce and I water it down so it'll like disperse around my meal evenly. And then there's also this stuff that I discovered a few years ago. It's a cilantro cooking base. It's really good. It's kind of like a topping. I like it.
I hate cilantro.
I love cilantro. You crazy?
Hate it.
It's one of my favorite things.
Hate it.
This is for you.
Woo!
Steak and rice. I put a little bit of
Cilantro in it?
no. I put salt. Do you want mustard or that's cilantro? What do you want?
I don't know. I might have to rock with some of that mustard then, I guess.
I'm out of ketchup, so. Is that enough?
Yeah, that'll be good. Let me go train after
I
this.
gave you like a diet portion.
I like the Tabasco sriracha.
Taste it a little bit. Are you gonna put it on your hand?
I was gonna put a little dab on my finger.
Go ahead.
Look at that. Cooked up by yours truly, Mr. Arash Rahbar, Classic King. Boom.
Taste the mustard.
I'm going to, man. Damn. That would be. It's scrumptious.
You like the mustard?
Yeah, it's good.
So here, use it. So yeah, that's all my food. NutriChef. They're awesome, man. I feel like there's a lot of meal prep companies. They ship also. There's tons and tons of meal prep companies out there, but I feel like a lot of them are just like kind of shitty food, just banging out cheap quality food. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Trying to make a buck.
yeah, NutriChef, the quality is good. The food is always cooked well. That's a big thing. Like, yeah, meal prep is easy because you don't have to cook, you don't have to shop. But we're not chefs, so we're overcooking or undercooking our food, whereas they're cooking it to perfection. Like, I never have any dry meat, any dry chicken, fish. Everything is cooked exactly the way I want it. They know, like, all my red meat is, like, sent to me basically medium rare, more on the rare side, because I don't like it overcooked. This is kosher salt, so I use half a teaspoon, because kosher salt is, for those of you who don't know, it's half the sodium. So if you guys are ever trying to lower your sodium, it's a lot easier to use kosher salt. A quarter of a teaspoon of salt is 500 and change milligrams. A quarter of a teaspoon of kosher salt is like 250. So I don't do kosher salt. I just ran out of my Himalayan pink sea salt. So I got to buy that again.
And now we feast.
I'm a lot hungrier today than usual.
Yeah, I'm about to eat this thing.